My name is Marc DiGiorgio. I'm here with Resolver. I'm joined by a number of my colleagues here. I'll let them introduce themselves as we get going. With that, why don't we begin? So again, the focus here on this webcast, customer support and customer success. We've got a few webcasts going over the course of the next week or so. The next one will be targeting product roadmap and some of the product continuance and support elements. All this is geared towards the Wynyard risk management product. So you can see our fancy new logo for WRM Resolver coming together. That is the intended focus for our content today. Your team. I'm going to throw this over. I'm joined here in the same room. I believe, Adam, you're going to cover off some of this.
Sure thing, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Adam Belfield. I'm the support manager for WRM at Resolver. I was previously with Wynyard and before that with Methodware for a number of years, so I have a lot of experience with the product and the history of the company. So enough about me, on to the team. So basically we have an approach where we have folks strategically located around our primary regions, covering each region. We have myself and Kevin Varney located at Resolver's Toronto office. We have Ben Bradley, Glenn Horsley located in the London, UK office, and we have Craig Mason and Earl Ricard located in New Zealand office down in Christchurch. So everyone on this list was also previously with Wynyard. The folks in this team, for the most part, have 5+ years with the product, going back a few versions as well. So we have a lot of deep product knowledge and experience within this team here. Also, while not mentioned on this particular slide, we have an ex-support manager and system architect in Clint Walker, who's based in the UK, and also Scott James, who is product manager and regional manager based in Christchurch, as I'm sure most of you know. While not directly part of the support team, those two have significant product and technical knowledge that we'll be tapping into when required through our support process. To bring a 24/7/365 capability to our support, we have an emergency number that we provide for urgent issues. So if something was to come up outside of regular business hours, we would request that that number was used. How we will operate going forward is we'll be taking a follow-the-sun approach. Our support centres have overlapping business hours, and this allows us to work together and manage our workload as a global unit. So this allows us to ensure that high priority requests and issues are responded to and progressed in an appropriate time. And this includes things like system outages that would be picked up by the region working at the time, and also progressing the investigation of other high priority issues rather than waiting for the local team to come online. So while there will be some focus on local support, our support queue will be dealt with in a priority order. We also have, in addition to the Christchurch, London and Toronto offices on this map, we have the Edmonton office. So the core of Resolver's existing support team is based in Edmonton. And one of our goals as a team is to cross-train them so that they can help us triage WRM support tickets as well.
Great. Thank you, Adam. And you're covering off this part as well?
Yep, I can keep going, Mark. So primary channels for contacting us, you can either reach us by email at support@resolver.com. This email address is linked directly to our support system. So if you are emailing us at this address, this is going to create a support ticket, and we'll be tracking that as a ticket going forward. You can also submit tickets directly via our support portal, and that is accessible from support.resolver.com, and also support.resolver.com is available off the main Resolver website, resolver.com. So from this address, you can go to the top right, and there's a submit a request option there. And if you click that, what you get is the request form, as you can see here, and the idea being to collect your personal information, your email address in particular, and information about the issue or question that you have. So within the subject, we're looking for the priority of the issue and the product that you have. In this case, it would be WRM, and a detailed description of the problem or question. And there's no such thing as too much information with this. You know, the more information we have, the better we're going to be able to assist you. So things like images of error messages, logs, if you have access to them, information about when issues started to occur, that kind of thing. You can also attach screen captures of error messages and other supporting information to the ticket before submitting it. And also, if you want to review your existing support tickets, open or outstanding or closed, you can actually register off the support portal. There's an option, if you select the sign up option, there are instructions on that resulting screen. So just finally, I'll just mention that if you had support open with Wynyard Group at the time of administration, we have captured those tickets and have brought them across into Resolver's support system. And the intention is to reach out to you regarding those cases if we have not done already. You could also review those by logging in, by registering and logging into the portal.
Great. Thank you very much, Adam. And I believe, Lenora, you're going to talk a little bit about our WRM knowledge base. And I think you're unmuted, and I'll have you introduce yourself before you get off.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lenora Thomas, and I'm the Director of Customer Service here at Resolve. And I work with the WRM team on supporting you and on moving things forward in terms of the WRM knowledge base and our customer portal. In the first quarter of 2017, one of the big things that our team is going to be working on is making information available to you to help you use your product. So from making it so that you can search the WRM knowledge base on our customer portal, which is nice and easy. You just have to go to that search box. We'll actually have information there that's available to you. We're going to make it so that you can download your product's documentation. So whether it's ERA, Kairos, or WRM, we are going to make that documentation available to you, whether it's a user guide, release notes, installation documentation. We're going to have that available for your team to access. From the site, you'll also be able to request the latest release. So should you be interested in your upgrade options, those pieces of information are going to be available to you. And over the first quarter, we're going to be building up frequently asked questions. So how to do things that we see regularly asked in our support system. So all of this is going to be coming on the WRM knowledge base and moving things forward. As well, we'll be introducing the roadmap. So as the team puts together information about what they're going to be building out and how they're going to be moving the product forward, we're going to be putting that on the customer portal so that you can refer back to it easily. Now, one of the big questions is how do you know where this information is and when it's released? Well, one of the things that we do is release a customer connection. So we produce regular updates for our customers that we send out to our primary contacts, and we let you know when there are new items on our customer portal so that you can keep up to date easily and you don't have to go and search it out on your own. So we'll be keeping you up to date and moving you forward. Back to you, Mark.
Great, thanks, Lenora. So with covering off the customer support and the knowledge base capabilities and structure that we're looking to offer or extend to our WRM customers on top of the existing products that we have at Resolver, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about what we call customer success. And it's a part of our organization that's set up a little bit differently, and I'll kind of go into some of the kind of ways we look to help our customers. But I'm going to draw on really quickly the vision statement for our organization, which is aim big, be great, and be loved by customers. And that last little bit is the most important bit for Resolver. And you'll find, I think, hopefully, that much of our organization that is customer-facing is driven by this vision. So in speaking to the concept of customer success and what it is, so quite often our customers, you know, if you look at the typical experience of a customer who, of any software company that buys a software product, you engage in the sales process, you engage in the implementation process, and then when the implementation is complete, there's a bit of a now what kind of feeling or conversation, and quite often our customers at Resolver, you know, they started their journey on, let's say, one use case or application, and there might be 2 or 3 other ones that over time they want to evolve into, or they might have questions that aren't really support related at all, and they may be more broad questions around business process, or you just wanted to talk to somebody with product expertise that could maybe bounce some ideas with around some of the challenges your organization's facing. And that is really the mandate of the customer success team. So in terms of who is available on this team, and I'm going to introduce Bob Adderley and Scott James momentarily. I'll unmute them. Guys, I'll give you the signal when I unmute you. But we've effectively, for the WRM customers, have established some of the folks who've been around the longest with WRM and have a tremendous amount of product experience and industry experience to essentially lead the charge in customer success through this very important transition period. So for the first, call it 6 months, you know, maybe a little bit beyond, we're going to have Clint Walker in the UK, Bob Adderley in North America, Scott James covering off Asia Pac and New Zealand and Australia, and then a gentleman whose name you will not be familiar with, but in the Middle East we have we already had an existing employee will lead, and we'll be joined with Manel, and who is a WR Wynyard employee, will be joining our Dubai office, and Waleed will be helping us out in the Middle East there. And essentially, what are they there to provide? Is any questions around application or capability, questions related to the product, escalated response, not that you'll ever need it, but in case you do need escalated support response, there'll be your any contract and or licensing questions. There may be a few of those coming up as we start emailing you renewal invoices and the like, a vendor's name you've never heard of, Resolver, so there's probably a few things you have to deal with there. And then any requests for training or additional services. These are the gentlemen that are there to help you. Bob and Scott, I'll just unmute you now, and if you wanted to say a quick hello to everybody. Bob, why don't you go first?
Thank you, yes. So hello, everyone, and happy to assist. Feel free to get in touch at any point.
Great. I think, Scott, most of your customers are on this call. If you want to say a few words.
Yeah, good morning. I think everybody knows me already, or I've certainly spoken to most of you in the last few weeks. So, yeah, happy to help in any way we can from APEC.
Wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen. So I think one thing that we've already emailed out today, I believe, Lenora, we had sent out our customer net promoter score. So I just wanted to bring this up while we were on the webcast here today as well. This is an important benchmark for our organization. So for those who are not familiar, a net promoter score is a very simplistic approach to getting a barometer read, a temperature read on customer, you call it satisfaction, loyalty, whatever word you want to describe. But the question is very simple. How likely are you to recommend Resolver to a friend or colleague? From your score that would range from 0 to 10, we use some fancy math to determine what our Net Promoter Score is. Why it's really important for us, it allows us to benchmark our progress over time. So by taking a score now, we know in 6 months if we're working in the right direction or the wrong direction. The other thing that's really important for us is that we can compare our score across industry compatriots. So there's other software companies that use this methodology, and we know if we're above or below the grade against other enterprise software companies. So that survey's likely gone out. It should be in your inbox if you haven't seen it already, and I look forward to getting your response on that. I'll take a few minutes to talk about some of the events that we do have coming up before we jump to Q&A, and I provide some instruction as to how you can ask questions. Next week we have some product roadmap webcasts coming up. We're doing 2 of them, and they're same content, but we're running them twice to accommodate. In order to do a live event, we want to accommodate all the time zones that we're supporting. So we'll have, you would receive instruction and information with regards to these webcasts that are running next week. So those are coming up, and we're looking forward to hosting you at those events. Okay, and then we have, I kept it a little generic here. Obviously, Australia is a slightly large country, much like Canada. But I didn't quite have the information available, and what I'll do is invite Scott. I was unmuted your line again. Talk a little bit about the Focus On event that I believe we're doing in Melbourne now, Scott?
That's right. So at the moment, literally decided on it this morning, so that's why unfortunately didn't have the information. So end of February, so February 28 and March 1st, so those 2 days, and the location is probably going to be at Deakin University, which is in Central City, to make life easier. And I will be sending out more information to all the APAC clients in the next few days. And yeah, focusing on those points there on the slide, and we will be looking at some training sessions on some of the new features in the WRM product, as well as looking at some of the other options available.
Great, thank you, Scott. And that is a complimentary event. We'd love to have our customers at that event, and the details will be forthcoming, most likely through an email communication for you. For those that have a little bit of travel budget and some interest to hop over the ocean, we are doing a user event, Resolver's user event. It's called Intersect. This year's event in May is in Miami, Florida, and that's running May 22nd to 25th. It's at the Nobu Eden Rock Hotel. This is a paid event, so it's early bird registration is $995. And it's a 3-day event. There's 150 hours of content, a number of the industry speakers, including Bob Hurt, who is the chairman of COSO, and this will be a swan song event. I believe the last speaking event he's doing before his retirement. We'll talk about the new WRM framework from COSO. We've also got Norman Marks, a number of customers speaking on the GRC side of things. And then we've got quite a number of tracks in which you can take the content in. There's also going to be a hands-on lab, so we'll have a tremendous amount of hands-on opportunity with the products. All the platforms, including WRM, as well as our Resolver's new platform, which you'll hear all about next week in the product roadmap. So we're very excited to have you join us if you are available, realizing it'll be a bit of a trek for most of the folks who are on this call today. So I guess with that, we're done with the content end. We're here to answer any questions that you might have. There's 2 ways to ask questions. One is to use the Q&A console that's on the WebEx. So you can just type in your question, I'll read it aloud, and we can provide a response. One of us will be able to provide a response to you. The second option, if you want to use the audio capability, is if you want to raise your hand, there's a little icon that looks like a hand If you click it, that'll be a prompt for me to unmute your line, and what I can do is unmute, and Stephen got the hang of it. I'll unmute you right now, Stephen, and we'll open up the line, and you can ask your question directly. So, Stephen, you should be unmuted right now.
Thank you very much indeed. A quick question about the knowledge base. I'm at Queensland Rail in Australia. We've, I think in terms of Charles Darwin's evolution, I think we're the Galapagos Islands. We're sort of out on a limb and away from the mainstream. Is it possible to have that knowledge base where we can tailor it so that if somebody logs in, or alternatively they can click on a particular area that just takes them to a set of Queensland Rail-based questions? Obviously, you'd want to have it for all customers, so that rather than browsing the entire set of queries, some of which may not be relevant, we'd simply be able to go and have a core set of issues from ourselves.
Unfortunately, it is meant for overall customer use rather than a specific customer use. And if there's something that you're specifically having issues with that you want us to help you document, we can certainly have that discussion. But for the primary customer portal, it is going to be based on a broader scale user format.
Okay, but we could perhaps tailor it by saying this will be a Queensland Rail, so pretext all of our specific use with QR, so that people would simply say search that on the general database. I don't think there's anything there that other people are going to see that's going to be proprietary. So
we wouldn't be able to add that to that site, though, in that it is definitely a broader scale. We can discuss whether there's maybe another place that we could put it for you, though.
Okay, that's great. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Stephen. If you do have any questions, just if you want to raise your hand, I can unmute your line. Okay, we did get a question from Leanne Evans Parker. Is it possible to get a copy of the presentation by email? Absolutely. I'm also recording it right now as well, so we can gladly give you the link if you want to endure the 23.5 minutes of content that we're at right now. Either way, but I'm happy to provide that to you directly, and then we'll provide a link to the recorded webcast as well, if there's any colleagues that you want to have view this content. Again, if you have any questions, just you can raise your hand or or ask your question in the question console. Okay, team, looks like we're off the hook. It's not appearing as though we have any more questions coming in. I think you'll find we're pretty easy to reach. So obviously we've provided some information about how to contact via support, and I understand that a lot of the customers are already taking advantage of it, which is great. And then Scott or Bob, mostly Scott, I think your customers are on this call today, have contacted you directly, or you can contact Scott if you have any specific questions. And I guess with that, unless there's any other questions, I want to thank everybody for their time today, and look forward to serving you in the near future. Take care.